think I'll just start and say that we'll go ahead and look at the soul report. My voice is hoarse from a combination of a lot of podcasts and a lot of talking, a lot of yelling, a lot of driving, a lot of high-risk non-sexual situations, running around, talking to people. We already talked about it. I saw a guy with the same tattoo that was on the guy that allegedly committed the bombings. Even though it's a false flag, it seems to be a calling card for people in the Matrix, and it does seem to have that biological attack symbol, which seems to be the zombie apocalypse response team symbol, which in of itself is a part of a mind control op. I'm noticing that I'm highly psychic when it comes to, oh no, don't even try to wake up that woman. She will not like you. And then several minutes pass. Here comes the giant boyfriend. Of course they don't want me sitting next to them. So I know what's up. And I move away going, don't talk truth next to them. He thinks he's a gangster. I would like to play some music tonight, but we're a little bit limited on, they got overhand sound here. So I don't think that I'm going to be doing that. But I played some music earlier. And I want to thank Chris for your email. I want to thank Jackie for your email, and I'll reply to you now. I'll reply to Jackie. I'm assuming that's a female. Now, when people email me, it always helps if you share demographic data so I know if you've escaped the matrix or not. For example, if you're contacting me but you think that it's awkward, that I've dealt with harassment, stalking, and basically mentally deranged people about not you personally per se, but I'm going to just do a guesstimate at about 50% of the time. It's a waka, waka, waka. I'll be like, fighting Islamophobia, and like stepmom would be like, why do you hate Muslims? You know what I mean? I'll be like exposing demonic women, and like somebody's girlfriend will be like, why do you think all women are angels? And I'm talking to people about this on a regular basis, that there's an aspect of the audience that only uses the comment section to be a bully. Out of those that speak eloquently and intelligently, and if more people had an interest in commenting, comments would be open. All right? So comments would be open if there was an interest, but there really isn't much of an interest. And what a lot of modern females believe in is status worship. It's an extension of the giant worship. So from giant this and giant that, giant house, giant car, giant this, giant that, giant wallet, giant debt, giant problems. Now, Gypsy Rose had said the following. I guess I can't blame you for thinking I'm lying about typing Afghan Lives Matter, but I really did. Hate to see you so stressed out. I do help you feel better. Right. But the point is for her to not, I want to say get stressed out, but come to a realization that she had said that. And what she's telling me is that she said it, but that it was shadow banned. Now, this is almost hard to believe, so I'm going to go ahead and screenshot that and tell her that, well, she should know that Afghan is spelled A-F-G-H-A-N. A-F-G-H-A-N. Okay, so that's a little, but that, no, it's perfect, but yeah. But why would that be? Why would they shadow ban the misspelling? So for the people that are here listening to me, you should be able, if you don't have an inner racist demon controlling your crotch and your partner, you should be able to say those three words just to test it out. Here, let's get this going. Can anybody see this in the text? Those three words that you'll never hear from the truth movement. Those three words you'll never hear from a Trump supporter. Those three words you'll never hear from a Biden or a Harris voter or supporter. The Democrats and the Republicans are a unified brass knuckle with spikes punch against those people. If you actually believe that you deserve to get out of hell and that all lives matter, there's no way you can be for those people. Okay, so I'm going to try not to get so focused on that and search for the truth if he's not a Nazi. He finds the suggestion or question laughable. I find it telling when people can't say those things. By the way, white lives matter. France lives matters. German lives matter. All these lives matters. It's not a woke thing or it's a political thing. It's making sure that you're not taken over by him. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with woke movement. It's making sure that you're not getting ready to kill somebody. That's all it is, because they're going to fix, to make things happen, to make you take some action in the world right now. You know, they could say, oh, this group did this. Oh, this group did this. Do you think when they stage events blamed on these people, that anybody would say their lives matter at all? Do you? Hell no. And so going from that topic to another, looks like we're still live. There are people out there that want the comment section to be open. But the thing is, if it's open and people don't use it, it's better for me to consistently create content without going back with people. And women of this culture, because typically when you're dealing with conspiracy theory and this type of content, unfortunately, I'm not dealing with women or attracting women that have more empathy to the non-white group. We're usually dealing with yoga women, Valley women, white women that find the idea of Afghan lives matter laughable, and the idea of a man being harassed by neo-Nazis who own his own land being laughable, like being stalked, because they haven't experienced that, where women are cherished, lusted after. Sometimes they deal with stalking and rape, but they're mostly just concerned about their own anus or vagina, and certainly not the suffering of, say, a male victim. And so it's actually outside of the current capability of the DNA of the majority of the audience members that are female that watch this, and male, but some of the men seem to be trying to wake up, but just men. Out of the females that comment in the chat box, they don't appear stable. And there are a lot of, come here, go tomorrow, I'll be locked to talk a lot about themselves and make it about themselves. There's always this sense when they come to the chat room that finally one has arrived that's, quote, different than the rest. And really what we get is a big dribble, where they're like acting like they know something, and they're acting like they're viewers, and they're acting like they're intelligent, and they actually have no idea that it's not about me, Gypsy Rose, being upset. It's a matter of, if they're shadow banning that, they're getting ready for a genocide. You know what I mean? So you should be like writing and others when they don't count the dead bodies. And you should be like educating people at least that there's an agenda coming. Now, this agenda coming of not saying that certain lives matter, creating killers and whatnot, it's bad. So if you can prove and others can document that they're shadow banning you saying Afghan lives matter, then I'd say we've got a story. I don't know if somebody or AMTV chose to promote me tonight. I got 20 new subscribers, but all of a sudden I have 700 views on the video about the false flag. Or it could have been a real military veteran. And again, a guy had the zombie outbreak tattoo symbol on his vehicle. He pulled out, okay, and then I drove alongside him, yelling that a symbol was used by the terrorists, because a lot of these LARPers here local, they're like, I'm in the zombie apocalypse response team. And then I've talked a lot about those jokers and what they're about. They ain't shit. And they're not real preppers. They're jerk-offs. And so I started driving alongside him, yelling. In a world in which I feel I've been called a terrorist, I called him a terrorist. He ran red lights to get away from me. We got up to, 70 or 80. And then I hit the horn as I drove behind him, flooring it for maybe 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. So this is the second time that I've gone into, this is the third time that I've gone into an Action Jackson mode. And that's the second time somebody bailed on me for showing that I'm a real man with balls. Don't forget to unsub. My power is so great at this time that it literally burns those of you that are harboring entities. You just feel crazy and sick and nuts just hearing the sound of my voice. And that's what people denying the demonic reality don't get. People that haven't dealt with their inner demons hear the sound of my masculine, angelic, leaning voice, and it's like nails on a chalkboard. So it's not so much a matter of me doing something wrong all my life, but doing something very, very right. And once you get it, once the women get it, that I'm way more harassed than anybody in the truth movement. People, if they claim to be helping women, will show empathy. And they won't go, well, why did you shut down the comment section? Because 50% of the time it's dribble. And then you look at a Mark Passio. Mark Passio has a lot of donations and he screams a lot. He's like the death metal version of me. And yet there's all types of women that like that bad boy. He doesn't have the chat open. Okay, so if you appear nice, vulnerable, people come around and go, you know, if you speak your mind, if you don't leave chat boxes open, nobody's gonna donate to you. And that's actually not the real way things should work or do work. If people don't want to donate to me, and they don't, it's because they don't believe that I have value, that my life has value, that I deserve to eat tonight. I think you're an energy vampire and an all-around bad person. If you have extra money and you know that I'm hungry and I'm struggling with food insecurity and you just take and take and take. And so I think that you're an evil Satanist if you would demand of me that I leave open portals to be abused like BDSM without giving a donation out of the benefit of your heart to a member of the race that you people are exterminating. What's up, Jackie? And so you got to be careful with these females that come around, you know, that I've never seen before, never seen your name before. They never get the time of day for me because you're not a spiritual person if you hang around the armpits and buttholes of chat rooms. If you don't know how to talk to somebody outside of a chat room where there's privacy, where they're not then going to go to your channel and look at your this, like modern women have a weird, unusual fixation with only talking to people in chat boxes, with all of everybody watching. And I've talked to you about this countless times. The dark side, I guess, of some of the private conversations with people that can happen is the psychopathic nature when they get you alone. And then the threats that come when you try to tell others without showing their name, this is what this rude person said to me. What a horrible thing to say to somebody. And they come around and make it worse. I will sue you. I will kill you. I will this, that, and the other. That's what a demon would do. A warlock or a witch on the dark side. Remember, it's good to be a good witch if you like Dion Fortune. But if you're going to take my book, ignore Dion Fortune, and her overt acknowledgement that Hitler did exist, is it a myth, and is a master. That's what's missing. So you don't want to be called a Nazi yourself? Great. How about at least opposing the shit that does exist? That way you can safeguard yourself from being perceived as one of them. Do you know if you were white and thrown against the wall by a bunch of minority people asking you questions, how to answer them? Do you think that I would know how to coach you if you were jumped by a group of rapists? How to get out of the situation? Or would you hate me for trying to help you like everybody else in this hell? I asked you a question. And so you don't like nice people. You don't like me trying to help you. You just want to sit there and vampire on my energy, and those of us that make your food and make your coffee and this, that, and the other, and just take and take until there's nothing of our flesh to take because we are dead. Well, you know what? Don't even try to apologize to me. You better apologize to God, because God's about to take away your power grid and your ability to call 911 from the... All these events, the last 24 hours I predicted, if somebody came to my YouTube channel, you would have understood too. But they think I'm a nutter here because they hate the homeless, they hate the poor, they hate the good men that are seers. And they have no remorse for killing millions of my people in the last 20 years. They don't even care. I'm just a barbecue. They think it's funny I'm traumatized. They think it's funny. Killing people isn't funny. And these police here are taking the women. Okay, so there's zones here where they have a red light district. I just thought I'd let you know that. And I watched a video last night that was talking about how there's a red light district where there's all types of horrible things going on where you don't want to walk at midnight. And there's like a dude walking around going, well, I don't want to be here at midnight because I'm a family man. But he kept saying over and over, as he said he was a family man who believed in Jesus, he kept saying over and over and over, you have 2 viewers, 5 views, okay? I'm starting to understand how to read this. If you want to be a criminal, come here, is what he said. And there's a lot of videos that are popping up from like gangsters and stuff that talk about killing people and stuff. And they're promoting like this area and stuff for gangsters to move here, gangsters to move here. And so the YouTube algorithm promotes pro gangsterism videos while hiding good videos. And so a lot of people like Jackie, others, like they don't know about white supremacy. They don't know about comment sections. And imagine being somebody who's watching me, who's willing to make a donation, but thinks that I should be. And so a lot of you are really wealthy from what I gather. You know what I mean? Like you're able to just throw money in lots of different directions, but it comes with these bizarre strings or something. Like if I ask you directly, how do you want me to jerk you off so I can eat tonight? You don't even give me a hint. All I know is I said that my life matters maybe too much to you. Gave you too much info, talk too much. Who knows what it is? But the old you would help me eat. The new you would want me on welfare. What am I looking for the government? Why did my audience members want everything for free when that was their mantra? So I want the people to understand. Hello, 4 viewers. Now let's mature the conversation. Average view duration is 444. How can I, through lifestyle changes, improve? Now, if you think that I can master public speech to where I don't do free flows like this, where I don't look unshaved, forget it. This is the real deal. This is the real McCoy. My real talent is in a free flow. If you want me in a studio, suit and tie, not being emotional, but I think being emotional and use statements is what it's all about when you're on the national media and you're doing the Howard Beale, I'm mad as hell, and I'm not taking it anymore. Like you think that if you would, you know what? I am mad as hell. And, you know, I'm contemplating that maybe this needs to come to a conclusion. Now, if you say it like that, like you're on heroin, you're not going to be the most famous scene in all the world. It's, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. Now, they don't care about minimum wage and slavery. They're not mad as hell. They're going to take it, and you know where. And so that was beautiful in the 1970s. He said, I'm mad as hell. Now we're down to 2 viewers. 2 people couldn't take it. And that's the thing. We are literally living. Have you ever gone to a McDonald's by chance and taken like one bite and went, well, why are you coming to the channel watching for 2 minutes and leaving? Do you go buy your Starbucks and take one sip and throw it at the lady? Well, then go to jail. I bet some people do that. They do that at the other place because they're nutcase addicts. I had to quit coffee for several days at a time to be sane again. Coffee makes me insane in the membrane. I am a fucking Hulk Hogan on coffee. I'm dangerous. I am fucking Looney Tunes on coffee. And I don't drink Starbucks. That shit will get you in jail. See, we need a sense of humor, but when a sense of humor doesn't exist, when laughter doesn't exist, we die. What was that statement from Martin Luther King Jr.? When we begin to be silent about the issues that matter, what was it? We cease to exist or something like that, basically. And there's a lot we can learn from him. But the mantra of certain lives mattering didn't exist during MLK's day because certain level of stage managed terror did not yet happen. So it was very early on. It was about blacks and whites in 1960. It wasn't then about the other non-black, non-white groups here today. So we need fairness and equality that exists all people, all heights, all races, all skin tones, beard, no beard, rich, Starbucks, McDonald's, all lives matter. But unfortunately, in the modern American cult, now we're down to 1 viewer. Aw, I must have done something wrong. Actually, I did something right. And so you, as a viewer, collectively, have a 20% success rate at holding your attention span for the first few minutes of the show. And so you're not in a psychological state right now that I can see to troubleshoot your way out of a grid down situation. You know what I mean? Like you can't pass the basic preliminary. And let me tell you something else, because I'm a genius now. These cops shouldn't be allowed to be cops if you can't read my books. It's pretty simple. If you can't read about rape and solar flares and how it goes together and how you got to back up and watch your, you know what, when the sun is active, and I'm not nuts, the crime stats show it, and you're a cop who's bragging about how you have job security because more women are being hurt, then you're a jerk. Okay, you can learn from me and learn how to protect more people and strategize and have more cops on the streets in certain areas where the problem areas are. Here locally, where women disappear, they disappear into a labyrinth of hell where no one finds them because the cops are in on it. There are so many stories coming out now about people that have been trafficked and forced to do horrible things, and the cops just left them there. And in some cases, they arrested them. And the cops are being busted for doing entrapment at prostitution stings, and they're basically doing what they are there to stop. Which led me to explain to you, if you have that going on, and cops raping women on such a large scale, especially now, what's going to be happening in the next couple of years, then, and I'm anti-prostitution, but what are we doing controlling the lives of so many people when they break the rules? And then I went deeper into what they do in the prison system to men when young women entrap them into things that they're not permitted by law in the United States to do. But we live in a pedo matrix where horrible things are promoted on TV and in pop culture. And so young people and dumb older men, they act on that programming on the TV. And then the prison system is there to cause them to end up with emotional trauma from a rape. And then in the world of porno, they are putting scenes of, because they'll notice crazy thumbnails and click, because I'm an investigator and I think I should start a porn critic website. And if you want to judge me for that, I'll see you in hell. What temperature do you think it's going to be in hell when you get there? And what type of a human being would go, don't talk about that. Don't talk about what they're doing to Muslims. Don't talk about what they're doing. What kind of a person, what kind of a supposed truth movement person would run from the truth? The vast majority of the men and women that you listen to don't give a damn. All right? So a lot of those folks in my audience will email me and be like, why aren't your comments open? And I'll explain it to her without taking her money. I will tell this woman who's never faced Nazism, keep your donation and shove it. I don't want your money. Don't you ask me why I won't take your comments and harassment. What type of people don't have empathy for male victims of racism? Oh man, we are screwed. So I want to get off this planet. This planet has been condemned by the Creator. Reincarnation is real. After World War III, there will be mutant humans reborn as animals. Many, that's why you see that weird adult content. They are training people for their four-dogged left next life. They're not going to send all right, so I sent a thank you email to Gypsy Rose. I don't think any of them, I think that she is verbalizing more than the others that she understands, and then she does at least believe that she is an angel, but and I'm not saying it a bad thing. She said she's watching Says the Camper, so that was when she was okay. And then I might want to hear your thoughts and more your story, not about me, if you want to keep talking to me. Just, my trauma won't go away. I'm sorry to warn you, it's going to get worse. But if you want to shift the narrative and just be detailed about what happened to you. This person that commented in the chat.
I'm going to travel tomorrow, so is that all right? Oh, okay. Actually, I'm not coming back tomorrow.
Well, cool breeze. I'd rather talk to you in private email. You know, I'm pretty critical of the open chat thing. You can chat. But you've been watching me long enough to know about the solar flares. And you didn't mention in your post. So you may be somebody that likes me for the other stuff, right? But doesn't get the solar stuff. And so what I explain for hours is when the sun erupts, so do I. So emotional sobriety. So I can't talk about home life, but email's different. We're live, you know. And so what I explain for hours and hours is when there's like an argument, like the way that I'm witnessing eruptions. I should have never left off grid. By the time you messaged me for the first time, I think in 2020, I had just left off grid and was in like some horrible ghetto apartment. Talk to me privately about more details, privately. But I will say that the stress of just this world right now, you're right. I'm not arguing. I'm saying though, it's really, and I can't necessarily trust you, any man or person, because I'm such an angry person, unfortunately, if certain topics come up. And then unfortunately for that, it means that I'm going to be fucking stuck for a while. I want to work, I want to be busy, but all I do is make videos. And my ADHD is so out of control, I can't even write a book. If I was to take just a certain segment of the stuff I talk about, let me get back to my topic. That was the topic, positivity. Emotional sobriety. If I can get that Vipassana attitude down, you know, like that East Indian guy, well, whatever, not like that. I can't in this world be like an Alex Jones. It's overdone. People don't want to hear it, and when I'm running around with the megaphone, they think I'm him. I found sounding even crazier than him on another level. And the shit that I say is just, see, the stuff he says, I would have no problem hanging out with him, but there's no sign that he would. No. My mom definitely doesn't want me to ever try to reconnect with him. But I think in Fantasyland that I should be on those platforms. Now, Chris said, well, you blocked me, whatever, when I argue with you about white replacement theory. And I retorted back, well, I understand more of it now. But at that time, we were arguing on Facebook, it sure seemed like I was the enemy. Instead of the, you know, what I normally talk about on this channel. And I talked about being assaulted by Arabs or Afghans, ripped off or poisoned by a Pakistani. So I've already opened up and assaulted by some sort of an Arab in Philadelphia. And then I talked about my father and said horrible things about him. And he said I'm taking him to hell. Lip-syncing AC/DC. Gonna take you to hell. Hell. My dad's like, oh my God. He didn't say that. He's like, okay. For a fat boy, he's strong. My dad. I just thought he was fat. So, okay, get back to the topic. But when I was at his house at the age of 8 and my mom banned TV at home, the good thing about my mom was being strict with TV and strict with video games. She was a nutter, but she kept the drugs, the alcohol, the sex, the video games, and the TV, and the R-rated movies, and the porno. Okay, there we go. We just hit 7 compliments. She kept all that shit out of the house. And if she did ever get with any guys, she did it on her own time, and I didn't see anything. And the only guy that was trying to, hope she's watching now and smiling, get with her when I was around, she was trying to push out the door like he was a rapist. And my grandpa was like, you are not to talk to that dude. That dude thinks you're like his girlfriend now because you talk to him? Yeah. And so that means that my friend is right on another level. But the reason some of the local women won't talk to me is they think that once you talk to them or get a connection that they're obligated. So a lot of women fear these men. So they'll never let me in. They'll never check out the channel because they've been harmed by these assholes here. They won't go, well, prove you're not like them since you say from Portland and you've been exposing the stuff as a psychic for 20 years. Prove it that you've lived in your car and you're a good man. They don't want it because they don't have a belief system that you can be male and good unless they're your coworker. To be a random dude and so that's the real reason you have a nasty adult industry, nasty stuff downtown is because they've destroyed the family unit. There's no natural way to meet a soul anymore because they're making us soulless. All right, I made that point there because I know intuitively what to say because I can read into a mind. You can tell me privately on email what you know about therapy, or I could also, when you and I start messaging, you're first talking about the targeting, I think too much of that info drives us nutty. And now I believe that there are aspects of it that are real, but I still believe it's alien, and that the solar flares amplify the perception of that. Things that are associated with TI symptoms. So I believe some of the terror attacks are real. and some might be fake. They don't need to fake all that stuff that's happening. So how can I become more successful with all this energy? We don't have to have the answer now, but, and I'm not trying to claim that I'm, well, I keep hearing that, don't make me angry. You're not going to like me when I'm angry, seen from the Hulk. But I'm not going to claim that I have the gamma ray blast, but, you know, I'm kind of claiming I got the gamma ray blast. But I'm not alone in this. There's one of you that's commenting on the current solar flare predicament. Search for the Truth is MIA. He's probably busy. And he's the other guy that talked about his head spinning during solar flares. And then he said to not talk about other things where he dealt with stress. But I would say to share those things, aspects of it, in which you deal with stress. You know, in what way you might, so that you can help others. And then how you deal with that stress. And because things are so intense, I'm not going to say what he was concerned about the solar flare influencing a bad situation. You know what I mean? Involving the situation without giving details. And that's something that we should talk about. And that I'm looking for the right video service. As far as if you want to pay me a few dollars for members area, join up on YouTube or join up at Substack. And if you want to contribute requests for information, I can consider that. Someone in the chat talks about voice to skull and adapting to it or overcoming it or coping with it. Then I would say the environment in some of these places, this, that, others, and where you're in, others, it's all invisible. I believe it is. And so if you're with me on that level, alien tech, then yes, there is a physical tech. Yes, there's a physical tech. The question is who created it? Yeah. I believe there's an alien portal right here, by the way. Here, there, other places, Portland. I would sit in Portland at 39th and the TV is one. And the internet is one. And the cell phone is one. And the smartwatch is being one. Is there any reason that they have it here? And here? I'm not going to speak about my home life other than to speak in code. And that's what I told this wonderful human being. He's one of the smartest people I've ever met. That I'm back in this mentality of I gotta be outside and drink. But I was told, you drink, you're not coming home. So I lost my freedom to do that and have a katana. And so on one hand, the situation's not bad. On another end, me moving off grid and moving into the current situation made me feel like I am dying for a number of years. And that's what led to me taking the psychotropic medication, which I am now off, and just consume THC, AMP, which makes me sick. But I deal with this. This is not good. Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Why do people gotta be fucking retarded when I do this shit? Why do people gotta be retarded? When I told the guy, everybody's a retard. I told him indica. This shit's sativa. I sit there and talk about this shit having no strength for like 10 minutes. These people can't function, man. They can't process information. Like, they can maybe make some food or something, max. But they can't drive their cars straight. They smash, they kill people. When they hit and run, they just run away from the car and go get a job and get a new car and hit someone again. You know what I mean? The minimum wage is bad in America. But you can't have people just going, but what are you going to do? What do you mean? What am I going to, maybe try to live with a good man or woman off grid? I'm heterosexual. But I believe in having co-ed, off-grid, freedom communities where you don't have to be, you think I'm working for retirement? You think there's going to be a retirement for me when I'm old? My older age is going to be, if I even make it past 50, is going to be highly questionable. And so one of the arguments today, what I'm explaining it, as this solar cycle ramps up, I'm going to be crazier and crazier. Or there's arguments like, discussions like, when these things happen, solar flares and crime, and there's stuff, yeah, wheels are in motion. I'd like 2025 to bring me success with more people coming to the channel and a certain amount of them being willing to give back. No one specific in the chat box is being discussed or ordered to do anything, but there is a certain amount of you that come and go. One of the recent videos was 800 views, meaning I have to ask for regular help on a regular basis so that maybe a certain percentage and then adjust what I'm saying. I can try to open up comments again, but I really don't have an audience base that demands comments. And again, we're going to go back to that. Modern conspiracy-tarred women are very devoid of empathy. Even though I'm conspiracy, the women in my audience don't have love because they're radicalized. They're radicalized. You would have to go to somebody outside of conspiracy theory. But I found that the left-leaning folks are more racist than right-wingers to me. That left-wingers that say they're woke are more racist than Trump's. And I did not expect that. But Portland taught me everything I need to know about sex demons. And so Sex Demons of Portland, Oregon could be a bestseller. You know, something for the sex workers of Portland, Oregon, of Antifa to maybe learn. Because they're bedding down with a whole lot of demon from Los Angeles, a whole lot of demon from California and the kink.com company. So Portland is now invaded by freaks that makes, oh my God, I won't even say it here. So when you hear me say Portland into the sea, Portland, Oregon into the sea, there's a reason for that. I mean, they need a healing. They need to get their, you know what, washed. Hey, Portland, into the sea. Oh, you want to be a Cascadia? Why don't you then just break away from the continent and let the sharks get you? Wouldn't that be fun? Break away from America and become a bunch of racist cannibals, acting like you're the best thing and Donald Trump is the source of all evil. Why don't you just break off into the sea and just become a garbage patch? Portland, how you doing, Nicole? How's your latest boyfriend fling doing? Christian, supposed Christian. Oh, law of attraction, secret. You can be the Illuminati. Hey, lady, I have a photographic memory. This nutcase in 2005 was trying to put down my stuff and go, you know, the answer's secret. The fuck? Then she was gone. Then she's back later going, I voted for Obama, or I voted for Trump. And then she couldn't even talk to me coherently until she went to like some Mississippi or some racist place. She's like, oh my gosh, this place is racist. Oh, hey, Alex. Hey, how you doing? Holla. But she got back to Portland. She was back to her kink ways. So Christian. Bullshit. And they'll say things to get you interested, like, and I'm going back to church and stuff. Yeah. So, I mean, are you trying to get me interested? You ever heard about saying some of the things that I've asked you to say as a female? First Amendment auditors. I guess I see myself as one of them, but I don't overtly. But I guess I am one. But I don't follow the rules. So I guess what I'm saying to you is I respect it. I need to tell the guy at the vape, bro, we need to look at the packages before I leave the store. Sativa does nothing for me. You know what I mean? So like this sense that I have to drink to sleep is almost medical because nobody out of the thousands of you believes in helping me access medicine. You know what I mean? And so that's another conversation. Do you realize how healed I would be and successful and level-headed if just one of you would try to help with medicine and give a vow of secrecy, of privacy? Do you know what I mean by that? Okay. I think that a lot of people are too scaredy cat, and it's like they get attacked by entities that are monitoring our internet connection. Yeah. Okay, Cool Breeze Tony gets home. So I want to steer away from constantly talking about debates that I have, but she's always hating on First Amendment auditors and just the philosophy of what they're about. And I said many times I'd kick him out. I'd kick him out. Yeah, I'd kick him out. You know what I mean? Just on and on. Yeah, but I mean they're making a point. I'd kick him out. All right, I got it. Yeah, and you'll kick me out. I need something to calm me down. And this was not expected. This is bullshit. Um, Back in the day in Portland, which I'm not in now, and that shifted dramatically. You used to be able to walk down Hawthorne Boulevard and get a dime bag, a pot. You used to mostly be able to go down to the waterfront and get a dime bag, mostly. And then stuff changed dramatically. I need to look up something on the internet. I need to look up something on the